Network of awareness makes your brain coherent. One of the fastest growing podcasts. You can hear it 24/7. Got listeners out in London, informationalists in Paris. Echo spreading out, no parrot. Just dissect, digest, and share it. The righteous rhymes hit the spirit. Click 90 times, it won't perish. Cause y'all's the mind ain't no fairy tale like the fairly odd parents. It's time to rise, don't get wary. United minds, it's apparent. Download every single errand, but most ain't fit to catch it, even if they were Larry. Interviews, the interludes, they into you, taking you on a journey like no other. It places you in a state of awareness. It's your fault if you hate the truth, cause Yahweh and Yahweh's on his way, my brother. Better change your views. All praise to Yah.
Hello, positive people. You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness podcast radio station, giving you in-depth information on society and culture in America and abroad, with messages of inspiration, with keen insights, reputable interviews, and much more. So now, without further ado, your host of the Network of Awareness podcast, ORRA, the informationalist.
Yes. Peace and greetings, people. This is ORRA, the informationalist, owner and founder of the Network of Awareness. And welcome to Tightrope Tuesday. That's right. Tightrope Tuesday, one of my favorite days out of the week to discuss things that are affecting society and culture in the world today, and also things that are meaningful when it comes to true spirituality, brothers and sisters. And as a podcast radio show that focuses on social sciences and society and culture and spirituality, I felt very much compelled to put this episode out. And I'm going to be very passionate about what is discussed here today, because to be a messenger for the great creator of all that is and ever will be, it's a great responsibility. And as I put in the info box, it says ORRA is a messenger for the Most High. We're going to discuss the great responsibility that every messenger has, which means that he has been given a great responsibility and privilege in being able to deliver messages which will change not only his life, but others around the world too. And I take this very seriously, people. And I use a lot of circumspection and discernment when delivering my messages, because I never want to be biased in the way I deliver my messages. I never want to be prejudiced in the way I deliver this message, because this message that I deliver is not from me. I am just a conduit. I am the vessel which has been given the responsibility and the privilege to deliver it. So this message is for everyone, because no one person is better than another person. No one individual spiritual being having a physical experience is better than the next person. Because when it comes to our great creator, the Most High, we are all in this experience together as one. And we are all experiencing this one experience as one. And even though we are individual expressions of the Most High, like a rain droplet that falls from the sky, once we fall into the great ocean of life, we are all one, brothers and sisters. So I want to thank everybody that's going to be joining this broadcast in the chat room, outside the chat room, and those that will be downloading the show later at any given time throughout this year. I just want to say to you, thank you, and I appreciate all the love and support that you show me. I've seen that the numbers have gotten greater in the download, so I greatly appreciate that, because as you well know, I've been shadow banned for pretty much almost a year now, and there's really nothing I can do about it in the sense of stopping it. That's why I'm taking all of this and then some to my TV network, which I'm not going to stop podcasting, but on my TV network, I'm truly going to be able to represent the Most High without having any restriction as to how I do it. But we're going to push this until we can't do it anymore. Because as I said, at 18 years old, it was revealed to me spiritually. I was told that the Most High, the great creator of all that is and ever will be, said I was going to be his messenger. And I take it with great responsibility. Now that I'm in my mid-40s, I have so much more to learn, people. So much more to do. And I hope that the Most High gives me the opportunity to continue to serve. Not just the Most High, but when I serve you, the listener, no matter what ethnic, cultural background you come from, this message is for everyone. Because as I said before, nobody is better than anyone else. And if you are listening to this show and you have that type of mindset that you think you're better, I'm telling you right now, get yourself out of that thought process. Because I always say this, none of us truly know who the Most High is. But we will all find out when we leave these bodies. Trust the plus on that one. So, with that being said, let's get into Tightrope Tuesday. Messenger for the Creator episode. It's actually episode 32, people. So, I got to make sure I correct that. It was a typo that I didn't even catch. So, I'll make sure to correct that on the artwork after this episode is done so it can look proper and appropriate. But this is episode 32 of season 4. This is my 341 episode in the Network of Awareness. And it's going to be a great one that I'm very passionate about. And it's going to be a lengthy one because this is something that I really want to bear it all on, the importance of the great responsibility of being a messenger. So welcome, brothers and sisters, to the Network of Awareness. It is approximately 7:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. It's a beautiful day. It was a big storm yesterday. I got back late last night from New Orleans. Was hanging out with wifey for 5 days straight. And it was a wonderful vacation that wifey and I had. And so grateful to the Most High to have this woman in my life. Shout outs to Letta in the chat room. Shout outs to Brother Cook from King's Grew and from Allura Beauty Abundance. Shout outs to you and your wifey, brother. Shout outs to Warrior of Yahweh 98. Greatly appreciate you coming into the chat room. Never seen you before, but do appreciate your presence. Hope to see you again. And of course, got to give a shout outs to one of my original supporters, my brother from another mother, Mauricio. All right, so let's get this show started. There's a lot, right? Obviously, when I talk about things on my show is based on society and culture and social sciences. That is my lane. That is the lane that I've been in since I first started podcasting. And that's the lane I'm going to stay in. But my show has a lot to do with spirituality. The reason I didn't choose spirituality as a main category, I chose it as a subcategory, is because what was revealed to me at a young age, as a young man, I should say, is that I was going to be a messenger. But I didn't really believe it. And I didn't take it seriously. But I do now, and I have been for quite some time. When I look back on my life, I realized that I've been a messenger for quite some time. I just didn't know it. See, because when you are a messenger for the Most High, you are giving people a greater understanding of the importance of what the Most High represent. And also, when it comes to me, the type of messenger that I am, I'm not the type of person that reads scriptures. That's not my lane. My family always wanted me to do that since I was young. They really thought I was going to be a pastor or preacher and speak the word of the Most High through scriptures. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that there's many brothers and sisters that do that very well. I think they do a great representation, but that is not the only messenger that exists out there. The way it was revealed to me that I was going to be a messenger for the Most High in respects to being a reminder and an influencer to let people know around the world that they have the light of the Most High in them and that need to value that light and appreciate it and live it and truly get closer and closer every day to understanding it, because man has led us astray from that. And like I discussed in my episode, We Are Orphans. We are all orphans because we are trying to come back to the very essence which we've been led astray from since birth. And the reason I say that is because when we're born, we are socially and very intimately conditioned to have a certain belief system that is structured in a way that we are narrow-minded in our belief systems from the way we are raised and taught and the things that we learn. And many of us, if not all of us, become ignorant to the Most High because of the things that we are taught and the things that we learn growing up. It's something that I discussed not too long ago. I think it was on Saturday when I was in New Orleans with wifey, is that I'm grateful that I grew up in New York City, in the Bronx, and I traveled all the 5 boroughs because I lived on my own when I was 15 years old. I ran away from home for a year and a half, and I was on my own. I was selling heroin, and I went from selling heroin to being a boss, and I had my own stamp, and Satan was trying to recruit me at that time heavy, but the Most High was with me because he knew the purpose that he had for me. And he sent an angel by the name of Mark to keep me protected and also to remind me that I had to go back home. And this angel would always pop up in the flesh, physical person, all right, tall brother, the brother was about 6'5", 6'6", around that height, and just dropping jewels on me, and just had, like, this man who was an angel had so much love for me. It was amazing. Like, I could feel it. And he was so concerned about me. And the way he would show up in a truck that was part of a church in Times Square, non-denominational church. And he would pass out soup and food to the homeless and to all the drug addicts. Then after he would do that, he would just come up stand next to me, towering over me, right? And he just started telling me, like, he would say, Reggie, you know, you got to go back home. Satan's trying to recruit you. And he wants you real bad. And I used to just laugh. But after a while, things started happening. I mean, and if you don't know, listen to the story of ORRA, part 1 and 2. I'm going to do a part 3 very soon. Might even do it this week. If I can. If not, it will be this month, or in the month of July, I should say, because we're coming and closing in on July. But things just started happening to me, and it made me realize later, years down the line, that I had this great responsibility and privilege to be a messenger for the Most High. Shout outs to Sister Danita. I see you, sister. I haven't forgot about you, by the way. Got things brewing. That, you know, being when I was told I was going to be a messenger, man, it sounded great. I ain't going to lie to you. But when I look back at all the things that happened, even my music from the age of 18 to 26 years old, the music that I was putting out was so spiritual. But I wasn't being righteous. I was doing some righteous things, but I was doing a lot of reckless things. I've never been a wicked man. I never did things out of malice. I did a lot of things out of necessity, survival, and also the things that I did, some of the things I wasn't proud of. One time I robbed with 2 other brothers. I robbed a Chinese man in Canal Street in Chinatown. And it's one of the worst feelings I ever had, because I was the one that yoked them up. I was the one that put him in a chokehold and pretty much was choking him out while these other brothers had a knife and took his shit. But it was such an ill feeling, you know, and I asked the Most High to forgive me for that, you know, because it was one of the worst things I ever did in my life. But during that time, so many things happened to me where there was so much being revealed that I couldn't understand because I was too immature in understanding these things spiritually. But with time, I got a really great understanding about what was happening at that time. Later, I'm talking about 10 to 15 years later, even in the music, there was things that I was saying in the music that was so profound when I look back on it, but because it was messages that the Most High was giving me to say, and it was healing me and revealing to me the truth of what is opposed to what isn't. Because the dark Kabbalic forces are here to stray us all away so that we become conditioned to adhering to the Luciferian principles that are conveyed every single day in our society. And it is those very Luciferian principles that many people subconsciously and consciously have gravitated to such a high magnitude that this is what we have today. We have a world in constant turmoil and chaos. We have people here, especially in the United Shenanigans of America, that are constantly battling each other, constantly in competition with each other. Even within this truth community, I've seen things where people are in competition with each other. And it's quite disturbing. And it's quite disheartening for me to witness that. But it is what it is. I'm going to continue to live my life the way the Most High intended it to be. I'm going to continue to put out righteous intentions to help you, brothers and sisters, to get closer to the Most High, and also to live the best life that you can live for yourself and for your family. And some of you that know this to be true, know this because you've experienced this from me. And I don't want people to think that I want a pat on the back, or I want people to be like, oh, Brother ORRA is so great. That's not what I want. But I believe that, and I'm so grateful for the way I grew up. And I was talking to Brother Take One about this, is that real recognizes real. And when people are doing real things, they have to recognize each other for that realness, because ain't nobody else going to do it. Because if we're not recognizing each other for the realness, there are other forces that are trying to wreck it. There are a lot of haters. There are a lot of people that are unrealized potential out there that are really trying to bring us down. And they love it when we are at odds with each other. And there's certain people that are always on their high horse that think that everything they say is golden and that everything they say is true. And a lot of people base a lot of their information within this community and around the world based on their opinions. But they speak with such great conviction that they make you believe that it's a fact. And that's when you have to use a lot of discernment, brothers and sisters. I'm going to say it again. You got to use a lot of discernment, because no one person has all the answers, and no one person knows everything. And no one person is going to give you a boatload of truth when a lot of it is coming from opinion, because it can't be proven and there's no validity to it. None whatsoever. It's all biased. I choose not to be that type of person. Never have been. I choose to be the type of person that really gets closer and closer to having a culture that is righteous. And I'm so grateful that the bloodline that I come from had people like that I am a descendant from my ancestors, who many of them were Hebrew people. And that is a culture. That is a culture of righteousness, because the Most High gave us a blueprint through the covenant on how to live. But with time, many of our brothers and sisters strayed away from that. And now the culture here, especially here in the world, but especially in the United Shenanigans of America, is a culture of Luciferian principles instead of righteous principles. It is not a Hebrew culture that most people are living. They're not living a culture of righteousness. And what do I mean by righteousness? Just doing the right thing as much as you possibly can. Hopefully every single day. Will you fall short of righteousness? Absolutely. I have many of times. But as I get more disciplined in living a righteous lifestyle, the mistakes that I make become more minor, and the shortcomings that I make become more minor, more minute. And there are certain days where I have nothing but righteous things happen and righteous intentions and things that I'm doing. It's very important that we understand that we're here for each other, no matter what our skin complexion is. I see too many people getting caught up in that, in skin complexion, and skin complexion, and skin complexion. And I'm going to tell you something, whether you're melanated, everybody's melanated, right? Every single person on the planet that's still a human being having a physical experience, or a spiritual being having a physical experience, is melanated. It's just some have more than others. And it's always been like that. And the thing is this, is that your skin complexion is not spiritual. Your skin complexion is physical. What is spiritual is what was within the skin. It's the light within. That's why I always end my shows by letting you know that You should never look for the light at the end of the tunnel, because the light is and always will be within you. Why? Because the great creator of all that is and ever will be is within you. We were created in the image of the Most High, people. And whether you ever read scriptures or not, if you just close your eyes and put yourself in a state of silence for a significant amount of time, that truth will be revealed to you in ways that I can't even put into words. It's ineffable. But it comes with great responsibility, because there are so many different forces working against us. And as a messenger, I've always been compelled to want to help people understand that they have that light within them. I've done it throughout my life, even when I wasn't aware that I was a messenger. Now that I have a platform on radio podcasting as well as TV, I just want to live out and do all that I possibly can to convey that message for the Most High. And I will continue to support my brothers and sisters. But I'm going to be honest with you, brothers and sisters. There's people that I've supported heavily that don't show the same love back. Matter of fact, there's people that I've shown so much love to that when they show love to me, it's kind of like wishy-washy. It's flim-flam. It's real fucking vague and weak. It's real like, whatever, you know? It's like, oh, yeah, ORRA, And I really don't have respect for that, people, because it's like, when it comes to all the people that I've encountered throughout my life, those type of people, they're not really for you. They're not. Because if they were for you, and I know many of you have experienced this yourself, they're going to be people that if they was really for you, they're with you 110%. They're gonna recognize you as a real spiritual individual of the Most High, and they're gonna show you that love 110%. They're not gonna give you 20% or 30% or 40 or 50 or 60. They're gonna give it to you 100. You know, there's people in this chat room, people like Brother Jacob. Shout outs to Alkaline J. Shout outs to Mystic Royale. See ya. There's people in this chat room. Shout outs to Brother Kyle. Just for instance, people like Brother Kyle and Brother Jacob and Mauricio, they've been rocking with me for quite some time, man. Quite some time. And then you got sisters like Sister Letta, who's now my wife. And then you have sisters like Danita that have been rocking with me for a long time. And they rock with me on multiple levels. Multiple levels. Everybody I just mentioned. And that's not to discount, Mystic and Cook, because they've been rocking with me for quite some time. But I'm just talking about people that have been there almost since the beginning. Almost since the beginning. Because the reason I say almost in the beginning, because I had a lot of followers when I started in June. None of the people that I mentioned were following me at that time. These people didn't start following me until 2021 in the beginning. But I had a lot of followers throughout the world that through shadow banning and other things that I started talking about, that people started leaving, or they couldn't, they're still listening to my stuff, but I'm not getting credited for it. When I first started podcasting, it was a lot of fear that went into it, because I was supposed to start in January, but I didn't. But something just lit up in me, right? I had to realize that I am a messenger and I have to do this. And I've been a messenger for quite some time, people. See, let me give you a little history about myself that some of you know and some of you may not know. This is not my first time doing radio. I've been doing radio a long time. Back in 2006 and 2007, I was an executive producer for a radio show that was on the AM. I believe it was 90. 96.1 or 93.4 AM in New York. It's a Polish radio station. I think it's called WWROK. Now, this radio station, they have a mother station, a parent company that runs it from Chicago. But this was in Pomona, New York. I got asked by the brother who had the radio show called The Rockland Report, because I lived in Rockland, New York. It's the longest place I ever lived. I lived there for over 10 years. When I first came, I just did an interview where I talked about the history of hip hop with a brother of mine at the time that I used to rhyme with. And then the brothers, the man who introduced me to them, he was like, listen, I think you really need to be a part of what they're doing because they need structure, they need support, and they need guidance. And I think you are the man to do it. And this was an older man. Shout out to Mr. Figueroa. Mr. Figueroa is a man in Rockland County, New York, that educates people about Borican culture and about the true people of Borican culture, not this stupid ass place that they call Puerto Rico, which Christopher Columbus named. All right. He talks about the true essence of the people that dwelled on that island. They're not Puerto Ricans. Okay. All that nonsense about Puerto Rican this, it's all bullshit, people. It's all nonsense. Puerto Rico, if you don't know, it's a Spanish word that comes from Spain, which means the doorway to riches. And reason being is because that island is filled with an abundance of wealth. And I am super grateful and proud to represent that abundance of wealth. And I won't stray from that ever. I know who I am. I don't have to prove it to nobody because the Most High knows. I don't get caught up in other people's opinions of who I am. Now, with that being said, brothers and sisters, when I was on this radio show, I was just an executive producer. And a good friend of mine told me I should get back into executive producing. And I might do it. For podcasting. And to some degree, I do it with the network of podcasters I have, because the network of podcasters I have, just to let you know, for those that don't know, I have Take One, who has Righteous Rap Academy. Okay. And I gave that brother the opportunity, and he's been representing his podcast very well. And shout outs to brother Take One. Your episode will air tonight. Just because I got back, couldn't do it yesterday, but we will have it edited for tonight. Also to brother Oxakai, who has Oxakai 101 with Oxakai. It first started out as the Lions Den. Now it's 101 with Oxakai. He also has Alpha Talk series, but 101 with Oxakai is on the Network of Awareness. These are some powerful brothers that are rocking with me. They are part of my network. So I do have an official podcasting network of podcasters. And if everything works out, I might have two other brothers that some of y'all know that will be on this network as well. Hopefully, y'all willing. I also have Billy Izzy Rosario, who's been my friend for over 10 years. He's my brother. He's my family. And he has Imperial U Life podcast, even though it hasn't put on any episodes, but he will. And then, of course, I have The Passion Pursues Purpose. I've been doing this radio thing way back when I was a young man in my mid-20s. And it was revealed to me back then that I was a messenger for the Most High. But I took a hiatus. Why? Because I saw certain things that were funny in that radio show. So I departed. But then after I departed, I went into a great state of depression because I had a tumultuous relationship with the woman that I had a child with. And that woman put me through certain things that I can't even express into words. They were so wicked. And I went through Great Depression because I couldn't be the type of father that I always wanted to be. And I couldn't do a lot of things that I wanted to do because I had all of these demonic forces, especially when it comes to the family court system, working against me. But I persevered and I overcame all of the demonic, wicked obstacles that were put in my path, on my righteous path, to enlightenment, to getting closer to serving the Most High. And then, to add insult to injury, my nephew committed suicide, which devastated me on levels I can't even explain. I could talk about it now, and I'm trying not to get all choked up about it or emotional, but I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, it whooped my ass. I already had thought that by the time I was 28 years old, I had already overcame 5 life and death experiences at that time. In total, 7 present day. But I had 5 life and death experiences that started early in my life. And I thought I was strong. But when I experienced all of that, it really tested me. It tested me on so many levels. But as I was being tested, my faith and my endurance, my spiritual endurance, was coming through. And the Most High was with me the whole entire way, man. The Most High put certain people in my life, both male and female, to remind me that I had great purpose in this thing called life on this planet, in this realm, in this 3-dimensional realm that we all live in. And I was so grateful to have these people come into my life that now, even though the struggle still continues, it's not as bad as it was before. I've been through the fire. Now I'm swimming in the water. And as I'm swimming in the spiritual water, in the spiritual sea of enlightenment, I've been graced with having experienced the essence of many of you that are in this chat room and those that are outside and those that I've experienced around the world. And I'm so grateful that I have this opportunity to do that. I'm so grateful that I have an opportunity to truly be a messenger for the Most High. And I take it with great responsibility. And the reason why I take it with great responsibility is just from that short history I told you about myself. I've been through some things, people. I've been through some things. And I know that many of you in this chat room and others listening have been through even greater challenges than I have. Because no one person is better than the other. Many of you have had your experiences in being and having things revealed to you. Some of you very well be messengers and not even know it. But we are all children of the Most High. And many of us, present day, are being called to greatness, are being called to serve the Most High in great ways and in great fashion. And some of you are doing it. And some of you are getting an understanding of what it is so that you can do it. Brother Cook, I appreciate the sentiment. Not a problem, brother. And, you're always welcome to come back to the show, and we can always have you come back and you can promote your sales and your new products, because that's what it's all about, people, man. If we really going to be about this truth and we really going to be about community, we got to help each other out, man. And it's not about helping each other out to gain something, because I always say this, the true gift that we've been given is the opportunity to help each other, to serve each other, because that's serving the Most High. So there's nothing to expect in return when you've already been given the gift. So when I help Brother Cook, for example, or let's say Sister Danita, to come onto my platforms, which was Passion Pursues Purpose and Network of Awareness, I did it because I was compelled to do it. And I did it because it was the right thing to do. And I did it because they were worthy for it to get done. Because I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of people that I won't help. I just won't. Because they're just not worthy of it. They're not really about this life. I can tell when I talk to somebody, especially if I'm doing like a video chat with them and I'm looking at their eyes, or if I'm speaking to them directly in person, I know when somebody is full of shit. I know when somebody's not really trying to be in this community or be somebody who's spreading a message for the purpose of something greater than themselves. I can tell when somebody is doing it for selfish purposes. I can tell when there's people that brush me over. I've had people throughout my life that when it comes to the things that I'm doing, they brush over it. You know, there's people that say they support me, but when they support me, it's like, whatever. It's real quick. There's no energy. There's no real passion put into it. And the reason I say that, brothers and sisters, is this is a message for you to pay close attention to. If you are supporting people that are not passionately supporting you, like you passionately support them, stop supporting them. For what? They don't really care about you like you care about them. They don't really support you. They wishy-washy. They're real flim-flam. They have other thoughts going on in their brain. They could be saying one thing about you, but they could be thinking a whole nother thing about you. And what I say to that is, don't support that. Because you're just spinning your wheels. And you're supporting these people, and they're gaining a lot from that support, opposed to you not gaining much from the supposed support that they're giving you. And as brothers and sisters in this truth, we have to keep and be very aware of that, because it's all about showing each other genuine love. I'm not saying that you have to become best friends. I'm not saying that you got to go eat meals together and sleep over each other's houses and play with each other's kids. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we have to recognize, and there's people in this community, there's people that have podcasts that show me a lot of love, and I love y'all for that, because y'all are the real ones. Y'all are the real ones. And you know who you are, because your support of me is very genuine, and it resonates. It resonates in your tone, in your speech, in your actions, in your words. And I greatly appreciate y'all for that. But those of you that wash over my shit, they're like, oh, well, whatever. I see you. I see you. Clear as day. And I had an epiphany. I had an awakening when I went to New Orleans. And the awakening that I had was like, that brought me to this understanding was that, and I was alluding to this before, the United States has a lot of different cultures when it comes to the South, when it comes to the North, and when it comes to the West, and when it comes to the Midwest. And I'm the type, I grew up in an environment where my brothers and sisters that were considered minorities, which if you don't know, minority means that we hold the minority of wealth. It has nothing to do with your skin. That's what they want you to believe. But the reality is a minority is because you hold the minority of wealth. It has nothing to do with being black, white, or brown. But what I will say is this. The way I grew up is that my black and brown brothers and sisters, we was in it together. And we even had some of our so-called white brothers and sisters with us. Not many, but just a few. But hey, those few were potent. They had a lot to contribute. And salute to all of y'all brothers and sisters. Shout outs to my brother Speaking of my Caucasian brothers, shout out to my brother James Morin. Definitely send out prayers to your mother who's in surgery. And I pray to the Most High that she comes out with a successful surgery. I grew up in a way where we was in it together. There's not all this division. You know what I'm saying? There's not all this like, oh, you're this and you're that. There's not all this emphasis on social constructs. Like I said the other day, I'm not Puerto Rican, people. Like I'm telling you right now, I'm not a nigga with curly hair. I'm not a spick. I'm not Spanish. Can't stand that when people say you Spanish. No, I'm not fucking Spanish. Spanish is a language and is a representation of the European people that are from Spain. I am not Spanish, people. If anything, I am of Borican people. I am of Hebrew culture. I am ultimately a spiritual being having a physical experience. Because when the Most High revealed to me that I was going to be a messenger, the Most High revealed to me that I am a star child. It's not something I talk about a lot because I don't want to lose people. But I was told that I come from a whole nother galaxy, that I'm not even from this planet, that I'm just coming here to visit to spread the Most High's message. I don't talk about it a lot, but I've been told spiritually that I am a star child. And as I've gotten older and having people, the way they respond to me when they're in front of me physically, it makes sense now because of the way I get treated and the way people look at me and respond to me. Because at the end of the day, people, you have to know who you are, but you will not get to know who you are if you're not really looking within yourself. You're not going to find out who you are just by reading books. You're not going to find out who you are through experiences with other people. Those things can contribute to the realization of who you truly are, for sure. But it's not the most important primary thing that you're going to figure out in learning who you are. You have to search from within. You have to quiet the mind and let the spirit guide you. You have to take that flight, that journey to the unknown. And that's how you get closer to the Most High. You get closer to the Most High through prayer, through meditation, through truly putting out righteous intentions. When you put out righteous intentions and you really are about that life, I guarantee you're going to get a closer understanding to who the Most High is. And that's why I've said before that when I look into the mirror, I don't see Reggie. I don't see ORRA the informationalist. I don't see a brown man. I don't see a Hebrew. I don't see none of that. I see a miracle. And I hope that you do the same, because when you start seeing that you are a miracle, that's when it starts to get even more interesting in getting a better understanding of who the Most High is and what your relationship is, because we are all expressions of light. We are all expressions of something so great, so outstanding. And I say all of this to remind you that the light is and will always be within you. Don't look for the light at the end of the tunnel. When I look into the eyes of my queen, I feel a connection that I know is being guided by a higher force. I know it. I know that our unification and the way it came to be was all guided by the Most High. And now that we're married And I mentioned this to her today, that we wear these rings and it's a representation of what we have, but it's not something that we have to prove so much to each other. It's something that we have to prove to the Most High. And when I say these things, it's not really me saying it. It's coming through me. I'm allowing myself to truly be a vessel to serve the Most High. And if you have a significant other that you truly love, understand that it's not your responsibility to constantly prove that you love each other. The fact that you're together, doing things together, is a representation of that love. And hopefully you're doing it with the most righteous intentions. But you know who you have to prove your matrimony, your relationships to? Got to prove it to the Most High. Because it's the Most High that allowed that relationship to come to fruition anyway. And some of you know, and some of you may not know, I took a lot of time in approaching my queen. I took a lot of time in establishing something meaningful, and I'm still doing it. It's still a beginning. And when you live in the present, there's always an opportunity for a new beginning. And all praise to the Most High for that. Give me 1 second, because I think it's only right that when we are in veneration to the Most High, we got to give the Most High a soul clap. Sister Danita, you always got the knowledge. You always come out with the very insightful and thought-provoking comments, and I agree with you 100%. Danita says, that's right. Showing Yah unconditional love will trickle down to your wife/hubby. It'll trickle down to any relationship you have. It trickle down to the relationship you have with family and with friends as well. Even with people that you come in passing with, strangers. And a lot of times, the people that we think are strangers are not strangers. We have a connection to them because we're all in this. We are all rain droplets individually. But when we fall into the ocean, we are all one. It is one body of water. And I am swimming in water right now. I'm swimming in that spiritual water. But I still got the fire in me. And it's blazing. That's why there's a lot of steam when I'm swimming in that spiritual water, because the fire burns hot. My fire burns hot to represent the Most High. My fire burns hot to support you brothers and sisters in this truth, because it's worth it. Shout outs to the realist and the visionary. All right. Them brothers and sisters have been showing me so much love, that brother and sister who is also a married couple. So much love. And I greatly appreciate them for that. And I'm so grateful that when I did that song with Take One, that we were able to put that on there, on the Power of Music. If you haven't listened to it, listen to the Power of Music. And shout outs to Take One for Yahweh or No Way, Team Yahweh album, fire. Had to mention that, straight fire. And you see, that album, brothers and sisters, that's what it's about. That is a true representation of what it means to be a king. Because he is doing music with other kings and queens. And it's all coming together as one and collaborating and showing each other love and support. Genuine love and support. Genuine love and support. Shout outs to all the brothers and sisters that have their podcasts that show love and support, because we're in this together. This, you know, every time I'm doing my show and I'm like deep in thought, Brother Cal sends something funny. I can't help but to laugh and look at it And I do appreciate when you do that, brother, truly. I don't take it as disrespect or as a distraction. Brother Kyle says, I guess I do owe you a shine. Congrats, Paisan. And it's a little joke between me and Kyle, by the way. When you see those types of things, that's a little personal joke between me and Brother Kyle, because we do talk every once in a while. All right. There's a lot of brothers and sisters that I talk to every once in a while that are in this chat room and outside this chat room. And, you know, even though I'm a busy dude, I try to find, you know, time to congregate with my brothers and sisters, because it's important. It's important that we support each other. And sometimes people need an ear to listen. People need to have somebody just listen to what they're going through. And if I can give some advice or some insight to help a brother or sister out through what they're going through, whether it be good or bad, I'm going to do that, because I am a messenger. This thing being a messenger, it comes with such great responsibility, because people, we're very ritualistic. We have this ritual gene. They call it the R complex. They call it the reptilian gene, but I don't believe it's the reptilian gene. It could very well be, but who knows? I don't think it is. I think it's innate in us. It comes from the Most High, but there's rituals that we're very ritualistic in our behavior. And there's many of us that in that ritualistic behavior, a lot of us gravitate to what other people say. And we have to be very careful on how we convey these messages because of that very fact. Because when we're conveying messages, people gravitate to it. And we have to be very responsible in the ways we convey that message, because it can very much mislead people. It can very much keep people ignorant to the reality of things. And then they wind up learning the hard way, because they listened to somebody say something and they ran with it, not really understanding that maybe something that person told them wasn't completely accurate. So we have to be, as messengers, very careful in how we express these messages of truth, because it can get somebody really messed up in their level of understanding about life that they are living, the life that they're living. I try my best to choose the words that I choose to use carefully, especially when I'm talking about what it is the Most High represents, because at the end of the day, I can only give you a snippet. I can only give you a glimpse, because I really don't know what the Most High wants to do or is doing. I can only get closer to that understanding and utilize the messages that the Most High is giving me to express to the rest of the world. And I'm so grateful that I have a platform that is international, currently in over 50 countries, including the United States. And currently, this message is being spread to 46 states right now. There are 46 states that have a consistent listenership of the Network of Awareness. And y'all willing, it'll be 50, in time. But even, and I say this with the utmost confidence and respect, even if it was one person that was listening to my show, I would be grateful for that. Because that one person that's receiving this message makes all the difference. There was a time when I first started podcasting that there were nobody listening in my chat room actively, meaning like there was actually nobody in the chat room. There was people listening during the live shows, but they wasn't in the chat room. And then slowly but surely, people came into the chat room. And I never forget what Brother Seven said to me. He said, brother, I know that you're going to have your chat room popping. Like it's your time is coming, and it's going to come sooner than later. Never forget that. And he was right, because the Most High was put it in his spirit to be compelled to tell me that. at that particular time. And he was very accurate. But my thing is, whether there was, nobody in this chat room on a consistent basis or not, it doesn't matter to me, because at the end of the day, it's more important that you just get the message whenever you can. So if you couldn't be in this chat room ever and you got to download the show later down the line, if the show came out on Monday and you got to download it on Saturday, hey, that's all that matters, that you got it. And that's why I take this so seriously, because all that matters is that you receive the message and do with it what you will. Hopefully you do the right thing with it. Hopefully it gives you a better perspective on how to perceive the energy that you contribute to this thing called life, the energy that you can contribute to society and to culture. I appreciate people who really recognize real. It's very disheartening when you have people that really don't support you like you support them. And I know many of you have experienced this. Have you ever experienced somebody that you show a lot of love to, but when it comes time for them to show you that type of love, it's like 10%. It's very vague. It's very wishy-washy. There's no emphasis to it. There's no passion to it. Have any of y'all experienced that? Because I've been experiencing it for most of my life. And a lot of times when I've experienced that is because those very people don't really respect me like they say they do. They really don't care like they say they do. And with time, the Most High will reveal to you through those people's actions that is the very truth. And the Most High has revealed that to me many times over and continues to do so. And I'm very grateful for that. Because at the end of the day, I support people unconditionally if they deserve it. There's people in this truth that deserve for me to support them in the best way I can, because they are truly putting out those righteous intentions. It's one of the reasons why I support people like Danita, people like Sister Antoinette, that has some great products. You know what I mean? And it's not just because of her great products. It has more to do with her spirit. It has more to do with the contributions that she makes spiritually, with the intentions that she puts out. And also it has a lot to do. I have a lot of respect with people that are very resilient, both male and female. If you're a man or woman who is a very resilient person and you've overcome a lot of trial and tribulation in your life, and you still got a smile on your face, and you still living the best life that you can live for the Most High, man, I truly respect y'all. And I think that deserves another round of applause. So I'm noticing that I've been talking straight for an hour and 5 minutes now. So let's take a brief intermission and play some of this fire spiritual music. And let's start off with none other than the Seventh Seal Cypher featuring Take One Song featuring Yazan, myself, Landon, Tina and Dutch, Realist and Visionary, Brother D Nice, and Brother Amias, which is his Hebrew name. Some of you know him as Cal Statelin. Some of you know him on IG as Slime Doe 23. All right, brothers and sisters, let's go.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
Nothing like stage screen radio. Informational.
just tell me what's happening to me in plain English without the mumbo jumbo.
In the mix. In the mix. In the mix. In the mix. In the mix.
Here we are back again, about to drop some facts again. Yahweh's word spreads like a vicious net for capturing those with an ear to listen, those who paid attention, those who stand bold like a soldier with their convictions, not quick to fold or throw in the towel when under pressure. They walk it like they talk it, they live the message, but depression's what most folks are facing. They got the vaccination, we in zombie land, pretty soon we gon' have to dance. Better keep that sword in your body, fam, cause this far from aim, Babylon will burn down and blame. Some deaths are better off real slow, so you can witness the pain. You tortured slaves, 400 plus years of pain, hung brothers up in the trees, swinging for days and days. Now this is your end of days, you looking so disarrayed. Try to cover your ears, but the truth still gon' penetrate. The hatred is strong, but races still want to imitate and integrate. Only Yahweh's chosen holy nation can ever be this great.
Yahweh's amazing. Before I eat, I'm saying my graces. I pray for knowledge and wisdom and peace. We dwell in greatness. 144,000 frequencies and vibrations. So don't give me amped. Go take a hike and camp like concentrations. Pull up my pants and send my genes to elevate genetics. I'm concentrating, no recess to dominate recessives. No car insurance, the way I swerve, they be like impressive. Stephanie Courtney know my flow is looking more progressive. My aura is a network full of awareness and gifts like ORRA, the informationalist. Shout out my brother, take one. All these chances in life, don't hesitate and wait to take one. We are the true Jews, about to take off. Hitler knows we don't play soft. I pull up and let like 8 off. Watch a demon head splatter, give me back my platter that y'all just ate off.
Yo, remember what we talked about building something special as 1/3? Well, I feel like we're finally here. A righteous Wall Street, bro. Yes, sir, let's get it.
All praise to the Most High, this is only the beginning. Yahweh, Yahweh. Righteously preparing, raising our awareness. No social engineering, just faithful forbearing. Salute to those faith in it, kings and queens creating it. That's people awakening, 2/3 be forsaking him, 1/3 keeps on praising him, putting all my faith in him. Most people be faking it, munching on some bacon bits. Ignorance remains in bliss. In this life I came to win. Righteousness I'm living in. Truth is the enlightenment. Yahweh's the embodiment of peace and redefinement. Elohim is in the science, go grown out for lions. Raising the horizons, frequency just heightens. Spirit always brightens, no fear can ever frighten. A man on a mission, living out his visions. Truth to the tradition, gaining all the wisdom. To be freed from the prison, transition with God's mercy. With the early worthy, realist, righteous visionaries.
Too many people live their life in sin. You gotta change your life before the very end. The signs of the times and we know it's coming. But I walk in this light of to and fro, you'll be running. See, I choose to serve Yahweh Elohim instead of pursue a life of finer things. So break free from vanity, iniquity, depravity, to free yourself from death and all calamity. Yeah.
Yahweh's with me, I be walking in my truth. I overcame my struggles, I'm the living proof. The truth's a weapon, just put it to good use. You can hang a lie by the neck, something like a noose. Y'all favor me, the real one, cause I'm a visionary. Committed to the truth, exposed to lies like a visionary. Tell them that the world that we live in is fucking crazy, so don't be moving shady. Y'all's protecting his people.
The world is trying to back me up against the wall like a cat. Guess what? I'm clawing out of that. Big facts, guarantee no pussies over here. When it all goes down, I'm negating all fear. You hear? Lend me your ear like a homeless man asking for $1. The irony in that 2/3 are going to holler, cause it's not gonna work shit. You did put your body in the ditch if your ass cannot handle it. The elites is playing with us, call it Squid Games. You decide if you want your brains falling on your lap and let the rats eat it. Just to be safe, no honor in that. I'd rather be with killers that spit facts. You would never see me selling my ass for some cash. Hollywood is gonna burn down and crash. I'ma be excited about this. No tear dropping when it really ends. It's going to hit like Goku fists.
Ain't it funny how we went from whips and chains? Now the only thing we sing about is our whips and platinum chains. Instead of seeking the Most High, they rather seek the fame. So what's changed? They tried voting, they tried marching, and a damn thing changed. We still got burned and hung from a tree. Now you want to be a Mason of the 33rd degree. Yahweh never died on a cross, he died on a tree. So what's changed? I tell you what's changed. Now we know the truth. Hebrews are the chosen people, and Judah is the proof. Shalom, Barakatah, and salute.
I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just cause you don't like the way another nigga talk.
My crown I can't lose, Yahweh I choose. Allergic to the wicked, it makes me go at you. Remember when I was hurting, broken without you? I was searching for something higher than the words of pools. Behold, you led me to Yasha al-Karal, liberated from believing the name was Jesus and God. Here I am, years later, still pushing hard. You never left my side, homies, wherever you are, holding on. But dear life, the old me's long gone, but residuals of the individual prolongs. But I'm still here, demons I'm fencing, holding up my defenses on guard. I'll be a goner if it weren't for you, oh Elohim, King of Kings, Alpha Omega, first and last, creator of everything, forever your name reigns supreme.
That's all it takes to know that you will guide my path, open doors, make a way, because you and the love you have for me is clearly shown. It's not the praises of man, it's the works of your hand. I know that I'm not alone.
Shalom, walking in life under the dome. So much chaos in the world going on. If you ever had doubt that made you feel alone, remember that the Most High watching from the throne. Since my younger days, I was trying to buck up, took the wrong path, and I remember when I fucked up, running with police and the thought of being cuffed up, trying to give me 5 years like tough luck. Calls from jail, no one picking up the phone. Pops funny answer, yo, you on your own. Feelings betray me like damn, I'm alone. The past was laid out that the Most High shown. Finally, I was going home. Universal rap, high frequency tone. 1/3 of the light could pick a bone. Waiting for the day for Yah to bring us home.
That's all it takes to know that you will guide my path, open doors, make a way, because you and the love you have for me is clearly shown. It's not the praises of man, it's the works of your hand. I know that I'm not alone.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
Peace, brother. I don't have a lot of time, Take. They got the dogs on me. You know, they really trying to get me to take this science appliance, brother. And you know I'm not doing that, man.
Oh, where you at?
Not doing it. I'm in an undisclosed location right now. Up in the nature spot near that cabin I used to go to. But they got the dogs tracking me. They got the satellites. So they eventually gonna get here. I got it barricaded, you know what I'm saying? Because the only way I'm taking that jab is if I'm in a bag, brother. So Take, I just want to tell you this before anything else happens, and I want to get this out to you and let you know. Alright, brother Take, they're at the door. I gotta tell you, just listen, brother, just listen.
Now it's time to get out your own way. Allow Yahweh, today is your day to amaze in many ways. Cause it's just another phase in this infinite space where Yah be giving us grace. I'm working the race with diligent praise, unwavering faith. I'll be damned if I stray from Yah's will and embrace. Man sealed his fate with his ignorant ways. The world is disgraced, vibration has raised at a very fast pace. I'm present today in high frequency waves. No more being enslaved, all praise to Yahweh. A Hebrew warrior from the land of the brave. From the cradle to the grave to my very last day. Send a serpent to his cave, God favored my way. Never fearful or timid, it was written and given. No religion, division can stop a messenger that's fulfilling his mission.
Only get worse,
before they get better, but the storm ain't meant to last forever. Even when the light is dim, the sun finds a way to shine again. Things are getting ugly, things are getting cold, but I know it's best to stay in my zone. And I can't stop now, I can't stop now.
Hey, I can't stop and won't stop, I gotta keep propelling. Final destination is a room in the heavens. Diligence and militant, His will is my medicine. I can live without a half, but His love is my everything. COVID is on the road, got the world on its toes. So many sheep with their eyes closed. Hey sir, would you like to take the jab? Man, kiss my ass, stop living by what the news told you. You got injustice, brutality saturating the streets. Blood spilling for no reason, thanks to the police. Meanwhile, syringes are being taken with speed. Can't do it, you ain't sticking no vaccination at me. Despite all the chaos, I still manage to stay on the right path. Gotta keep my focus and my faith strong. All day long, let spiritual music play on. All the honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh.
Things only get worse before they get better, but the storm ain't meant to last forever. Even when the light is dim, the sun finds a way to shine again. Things are getting ugly, things are getting cold, but I know it's best to stay in my zone. And I can't stop now, I can't stop now.
Can't stop, I won't stop. 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 Can't stop, I won't stop.
I'm a little concerned right now about your salvation and stuff. How come you have not been baptized?
Because I never got around to it, okay? I don't know why you always have to be judging me. Because I only believe in science.
Yeah. Oxycontin. ORRA. Take one. It was only a matter of time for this to happen. We about to hit you some bars to resonate with your soul. Bar Smiths. Let's go. Let me talk my shit. American dream is nothing more but a mirage to keep you enslaved, controlled by the synagogues. They gave us a white man with blue eyes, called him God. Malcolm X started to learn before he sabotaged the truth that Muhammad Elijah was a fraud. The whole Islam nation, nothing but facade. You industry niggas is nothing but some cheap rods. Riding them balls to Satan, giving his dick a massage. America's Babylon, hidden in camouflage. Brotherhood recruitment and Masonic lodge. Triple scoops of the cold truth, that's how them dies. Taking shots that even Neil can't dodge. Land of the eagle, robbing you for your morals, promoting terror and evil. Heavily surveillance that every camera can see. GMO processing everything that defeats you. Wicked ways to the world is here to mislead you.
Thank God I'm alive. This world's so empty, I need you with me everywhere I go. I'm fighting day by day and night. Hope you can spare my soul.
There is no world trade, now the world trades in pain. Is this an accident? It's one simple and strange, we trapped in it. Perhaps a tragic tactic to form the matrix to sanction. Internet interactions, following your bad habits. No matter how much you making, they always got their eye on it. It's evident the government don't want a peasant resident become activist artists who owns business or residence. Cause sooner or later, we're residing right next to them, controlling your next of kin, teaching them the world of sin. They only learn the worst of it, every kid will quit. With barcodes and biochips, slowly we accepting it, pretending it's benefiting. But now they wanna know what you be heading and what you're getting and selling. Cause in Armageddon, Big Brother is overprotected. So you always say yes to him, he wants to be respected. When our service has expired, he'll get tired and we all be irrelevant.
Thank God I'm alive. This world's so empty, I need you with me everywhere I go. I'm fighting day by day and night. Hope you can spare my soul.
Hey. On the surface he's grinding, but deep inside he's crying, trying to keep his eyes on the prize to keep them aside, smiling. All stacked against him, he leans on Yada, not fall to violence. And when he call on Yaya, responds with such flawless timing. His environment's filled with zombies, it's not the brightest. Finding ways to escape this place, he gets lost with rhyming. Using his gift to uplift, but also constant reminder that somewhere someone needs his songs to give all praise to Yahweh.
Don't worry, just don't worry. Yahweh, then Yahweh's gonna bring us home.
Hey, got the heart of a lion, armor all on his body. This shoot's the hardest thing ever, but still he costs the mileage. Deep in the trenches where wickedness prospers all the time. It's like the good gets punished just for doing what is smart and righteous. As the stars are aligning, Yahweh's calling his finest. All united, not divided. Tough road, but I think I'm alive.
Thank ya, I'm alive. This world's so empty, I need you with me everywhere I go. I'm fighting day by day and night. Hope you can spare my soul.
Shout outs to my brother Aksakai. It's called You Belong to Me. Let's go.
The one and only Aksakai.
Hey yo, Robbie.
Welcome to Tightrope Tuesdays, baby. Let's walk this righteous tightrope together.
In the mix. 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 In the mix.
Sometimes the best thing to do is walk away so you can protect your peace, protect your energy, and keep growing. You'll never be able to fully grow into your true potential until you learn to let go of the things that are holding you back and weighing you down. Yeah, I've been going through it, but I never asked why. why, I just know I gotta fly. I'm gone, spiritually growing. Yeah, I gotta go and touch the sky. Left behind, praise Yah, and I'm gone. Been going through this journey of life, such a wild ride. So many ups and downs, so many that done drag me down. Had to let him go, lot of pain up in my soul, but I gotta keep going on. When you start waking, they say you change and start rearranging the way they start acting towards you. Turn they back on you, you said you never leave. Cut the heart up off my sleeve and just stepped on it. Should've just kept that shit, at least it would be beating. I'm feeling defeated, fatigue, I can't catch my breath. Just wanna collapse, yeah, I keep on running laps. Miss y'all, but no turning back. You said what you said and did what you did, so I gotta leave. All that shit can't be undid. I gotta leave, protect my energy. I gotta go, I'll forever love you though. I've been going through it, but I never asked why. I just know I gotta fly. I'm gone, spiritually growing. Yeah, I gotta go and touch the sky. Left behind, praise Yah, and I'm gone. I'm so tired, but I gotta keep on going. I can't let y'all my wife or my son down, so I gotta keep on growing. Such a long journey, but a longer way to go. Can't let it go, my heart is cold, it's made of gold. Got to keep on pushing for my son. I'm the chosen one, was built for this. Why they say they love me, but keep talking shit. Not trying to complain, just venting empty in my soul. I gotta let it go, releasing, receiving so much favor from Yah. Shalom, Barakatah, I'm gone. I got to keep on stepping, just serving my purpose. Yeah, been going through trials, but fucking man, it's worth it because I'm only going up from here. Faith over fear, yeah. I've been going through it, but I never asked why. I just know I gotta fly. I'm gone, spiritually growing. Yeah, I gotta go and touch the sky. Left behind, praise Yah, and I'm gone. I've been going through it, but I never asked why. I just know I gotta fly. I'm gone, spiritually growing. Yeah, I gotta go and touch the sky. Left behind, praise Yah, and I'm gone.
See, brothers and sisters, when you walk this righteous tightrope, it's gonna put a lot of strain on your body. It's gonna be very tasking on the spirit and on the mind. And in order to maintain balance, it's gonna put the very strain on every single fiber and muscle in your body. It's gonna make you sweat, but don't have any regrets for taking the opportunity to want and pursue on walking this righteous tightrope, because it's well worth it. And when it comes to serving the Most High, there ain't no other better thing to do than serving the very essence from which you come from. So maintain balance and stay focused and disciplined, and stay true to you. Tightrope Tuesdays.
I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just cause you don't like the way another nigga talk.
How you doing? You are now tuned in to the network of awareness.
This road is full of pain, but it's in the plan. The Lord knows your struggle and He's got your hand. The world is like a tower that's about to fall. It's hard, but do it all. You can count on
Thank Lord for a new day. Hands to the east, all praise Yahweh. Yeah, I'm feeling grateful, feeling good about all the choices I've made. Lord knows I ain't perfect. I live in a glass house. I stay humble, never ever try to act out. Never thought I'd make it this far, so I gotta thank God, cause I ain't even tapped out. I made a promise, I gotta keep it. If I don't, I'll feel defeated. I failed before, and I won't repeat it. But ironically, the failure is what I needed, cause it gave me motivation. The memories, I won't erase them. Salvation's close, I can almost taste it. Even though it's tough, I hope I make it. Come on.
This road is full of pain, but it's in the plan. The Lord knows your struggle and He's got your hand. The world is like a tower that's about to fall. It's hard, but do it all. You can count on
To my brothers and sisters in truth, I pray that you make it too. Lord knows I do. Such dark times, everything's gonna blow like a landmine. 10 times worse than you fantasize. Stay awake, bruh. It's all about one word. Bob letters that always gotta stay up. Keep strong with the breastplate on and let Yahweh pave the way, cause He chose you. So embrace the pain. You ain't the same. You're like the ace of spades. You're the needle in the hay. You're different. You dedicated your life to walk in the Lord's way. Hey, so keep your head up. When you fall, get up. The Most High's about to hand you a crown. Long suffering, God's coming. A deep in the night. Wow.
This road is full of pain, but it's in the plan. The Lord knows your struggle and He's got your hand. The world is like a tower that's about to fall. It's hard, but do it all. You can count on God.
Yes, we are back, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Tightrope Tuesdays. Shout outs to all the people that are joining the chat rooms, coming into the broadcast a little bit later. Greatly appreciate your love and support. Shout outs to Brother Taji. Welcome, brother. Messenger for the Creator, people, episode 30. In the background, I'm playing Blinding Truths. This is one of the first beats that I ever played on my show when I first started in 2020. And this is a beat by my brother Lincoln from the BX. Shout outs to Lincoln. Shout outs to Lou Mora. Shout outs to Silva. Shout outs to the Bronx, Casa Hill, Parkchester, Soundview. Shout outs to Harlem. Thank you, brothers and sisters, from those places that helped me to become the man I am today. Thank you for keeping me safe. Thank you for having my back when times were tough. And all praise to the Most High for keeping me safe in times where I was very mischievous and reckless. So let's continue on with this broadcast, brothers and sisters. So now we go for the second half of, this is episode 32 of season 4. For those that don't know, season 4, the theme of season 4 is unconditional salvation. And let's do a recap, right? Because being a messenger comes with great responsibility. Every messenger has that great responsibility. And I think it's important that we live it to the fullest. And I think it's important that as one who bears a message of truth, that this truth is for anyone who has their spirit ready to receive it. This message is not for a specific group of people. This message is not for a specific culture of people. This message is for everyone and anyone who has it in their spirit that they're ready to receive the message, because the Most High lives within all of us. It's unfortunate that most of us don't care to want to get a better understanding or inner or overstanding of that fact. But the fact that we have just a few, right, is all that matters, because many are called, but only few are chosen. As I mentioned before, there's people that have shows that they're spreading a message. And I want to give a shout out to some of the people I forgot that do their podcasts. Like I mentioned, shout outs to Brother Oxakai, 101 with Oxakai and Alpha Talk series. If you want to get great content when it comes to liberalism in America, when it comes to the dynamic of liberalism in America, when it comes to relationships, and when it comes to understanding that truth, definitely listen to 101 with Oxakai and listen to Alpha Talk series. When it comes to having a great understanding of music and spirituality, definitely listen to the Righteous Rap Academy with Take One. I also want to give a shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Navia Kara, as well as Yash Kara from Yash Kara Worldwide. Shout outs to Navia with Navia's World. Definitely appreciate the message you give, sister, because you definitely are coming into fruition with your content. And I can't wait to hear the music that you're going to bring onto your show. And I genuinely appreciate the content that you give on your podcast as you're growing. I believe she said she's in her first year. So I think she's doing a great job for somebody that's brand new into this radio podcasting industry. And I'm very much looking forward to this next year of content from you. So salute to you, sister. Salute to Tina and Dutch again, Realist and the Visionary. Salute to Brother Slime Doe, who does his thing on Instagram. Salute to the brothers and sisters that also put content out on Instagram, like Brother Trevon, that has been putting out some great content on IG. Salute to the future podcast that's going to be coming, which is called the Rude Room Podcast. And that's with Brother Roria and his wife. So very much looking forward to that podcast that's going to be coming out later in the fall. And salute to everybody who is putting out righteous intentions that are really about this life, that are really supporting each other like you're supposed to. And I'll say it again. If you're not going to really be about supporting everybody that's in this truth, then don't support anybody at all, because we all have a contribution to make. And one thing that I had an epiphany of when I was in New Orleans this past week was I'm going to support those who support me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't, I'm not going to be supportive of those that are half-assing when it comes to supporting me. Those that are just wishy-washy with supporting me. I don't got time for that, man. I put too much passion and energy to support those that are in this truth and are about this life. And I really support people heavy. You know what I'm saying? In any way, shape, and form I can. And if I can't get that same level of respect back, then I'm not going to continue to give that energy, because it's just wasted. It's just wasted. It's not it's not something that I'm not a dummy, people. I have a lot to learn, but I'm in my mid-40s. I've been through some things, and I've seen some things, and I know the caliber and the spiritual intensity of certain people, and some people's intensity and truthfulness and just straight humbleness is a lot greater than others. There's certain people that claim to be humble, but they're really not. They're really on their high horse. And I hope that those people that are on their high horse and think that, that their dookie don't stink, I hope they can really, wake up to realize that, they don't know everything, and they're not, really showing the love that they say they're showing. Being a messenger in this truth comes with a lot of great responsibility. And one of the responsibilities that I've come to the realization of is that we have to be very careful in how we convey these messages. And, I completely forgot. I can't forget. How did I forget the other brother that came into the chat room? Shout outs to brother Landon, who's on the Seventh Seal Cypher track. He's the brother that segues and introduces me on the track. And if you don't know, he has a company, a business online. It's called Righteously Prepared. So check him out at righteouslyprepared.com. And he has great products when it comes to survival. And it's very important that when it comes to survival, as well as Brother Cook, because Brother Cook has the dehydrated foods just as well as Landon. So definitely support these brothers, because we are in the days of revelations, and it's very important to be righteously prepared as much as possible, because we are in spiritual warfare. The reality of things is that we have to be very careful, and we have to be very careful. I'm going to say it again. We have to be very careful in how we convey our messages as messengers, because people are ritualistic. People are going to gravitate to other people, and they're going to take everything people say verbatim. And we have to be careful with that, because sometimes we can convey a message that is not accurate, that is not as meaningful as we may believe it is. And it might affect those that have an ear and are listening a certain way, where it might distract them from getting closer to the Most High. It might lead them in the wrong direction. And as messengers, it's our responsibility to give a message that can lead people in the right direction, opposed to the wrong direction. It's very important that we do that, because being a messenger, and not even just being a messenger, let's just keep it real. Being children of the Most High comes with great responsibility, because once you have that understanding, it comes with a responsibility that now you have to live your life in a certain way where you're constantly excelling and you're constantly ascending to greater meaning in your life, in the way you conduct yourself personally, privately, and publicly. And if you haven't heard, there's an episode with Robert Riopel in season 2. It's called Let Your Ego Go in Private, Not in Public. See, what happens is, brothers and sisters, and it happens to many of us, and I've seen it happening with people in this truth, where their ego gets the best of them. Their ego is sometimes very, what's the word I'm thinking of? It's very cunning. It's very diabolical in its deception. And sometimes we could be living in our egos and conveying our egoic energy without even realizing it. And a lot of times we think we know it all, and we think that everything we say is true, but we don't have anything valid to support what we believe is true. Because 9 times out of 10, when we operate in that manner, we are not operating in the truth. We are operating in our own personal beliefs and our own personal perceptions and opinions that we believe to be true to ourselves, but may not necessarily be true to the world and to the reality of things, especially when it comes to the understanding of what is when it comes to the Most High. It's very misleading, especially when we start discussing historical facts. And one main thing that I talk about with a lot of people when it comes to history is that a lot of us don't know what happened 2,000 years ago. Even if it's written in some type of book, we wasn't there. And if we was there, we don't remember. Only some of us may have glimpses of that, but we don't know everything that's happened. We don't know all the things that have happened throughout the centuries. We don't even know who came to visit here because there's a lot of interdimensional beings that have come here, okay? A lot of those beings that you see in Egyptian tombs, those were real beings, people. There were really people here or beings that looked like lions. There were beings here that looked like reptiles and all types of stuff. They've been here. Those things on Egyptian tombs are not representations of certain beliefs and rituals, even though that was part of it. But there were really beings that looked like that. See, man has made you believe that that was man's way of doing rituals and putting on these costumes. But not all of those things were costumes. They were really beings that looked like that. And there's bunch of them. You'd be surprised what is really out in the universe. It'll blow your very uneducated mind because many of us, including myself, are very uneducated when it comes to the vast understanding of this universe that we are a microcosm in. We are just an expression of something far greater. And we can only begin to understand what that is by understanding ourselves. And the best way we can understand ourselves is by actually utilizing the gifts that have been given to us in order to understand ourselves. Because once we start utilizing those gifts, then we get a greater understanding of what the Most High is. Because the Most High is within the gift. The Most High is within the light that's within us. The Most High is everywhere. Do you realize that when a person dies, and this is a fact, okay? I don't like talking about what ifs or, opinions. If I have an opinion, I'll tell you it. But when there's a fact, I'll speak on it and let you know that it's a fact. And the fact of the matter is, do you realize that when a person dies and their spirit leaves their body, that the person weighs 22 grams less than what they did? That means that the spirit is 22 grams. Do you know that within the human anatomy, there's 22 strains of DNA? Interesting, right? There's more than 5, 6, or 7, or 8. There's 22 strains of DNA. Do your research. It's very important, brothers and sisters, that we do our research. Because if we don't do our research, we're really not going to fully understand it. It's one thing to gain information from people. It's another thing to find it out for yourself. I'm so grateful that the Most High revealed to me that at a young age and helped me to build with brothers and sisters in that manner, to where it's one thing to read and gain perspective from other people, but it's a whole nother thing to actually gain that information for ourselves and then actually experience it for ourselves. So just remember what I said. The spirit weighs 22 grams. That is a fact. It has been tested and proven. There have people that have been put on way beds and have died. And as soon as they take their last breath, they weigh less than 22 grams. And it is also a fact within the DNA of the human being that there's 22 strains of DNA. It's even said that a lot of those strains of DNA come from different star beings, from different entities that have come down. It's also has been proven that even the higher light dimensional beings that have come here, that do exist throughout the cosmos, even they are still trying to get a better understanding of what the Most High is and represents. Facts. And all praise to the Most High for that. This thing called life, people, that we're living here on this prison planet, man, we are so premature in the understandings of the universe. We're so premature. And even if we've been here several times over, which many of us have through reincarnation, our understanding of the Most High is so limited. So limited. Very much limited. There is a history. There is a story that was here even before the scriptures. I'm going to say it again. There is a story amongst humanity and other beings that has existed here on this planet before the days of antiquity and scriptures. Okay? And you could take that for whatever. I know that to be a fact because I've done my research. There is a history before the actual history that we were told that is the genesis of this planet. It goes far deeper. A lot of that information, believe it or not, is kept away deep in tunnels under the Vatican. And y'all willing, we will get to be exposed, or that information will be revealed to us with time. But the fact of the matter is that when it comes to our existence here in the physical, it is a temporary one. It is based all on illusion. All of it. Every single moment of it is all an illusion. What is real, what is the main source of substance, the main essence, is the spirit, which is light. And we are all expressions of light. The Most High is experiencing everything through multitudes of different forms and expressions of light. And we are just a part of that. The animals are a part of that. The trees are a part of that. But not one entity that is an expression of the very source that it comes from knows the source that it comes from wholeheartedly, 110% or even 100%. Many of us are operating on only 5 to 10% of actual true knowledge of who and what we are and where we truly come from. And I really want to spread that message of truth because that is the reality, people. And true messengers of truth know this. True messengers of the great creator of all that is and ever will be know this. We have so much more to learn. Nothing is finite. There is so much information that is being withheld. And that's why it's so important that we look from within instead of looking from without or from some type of an external source to get a better understanding of who we are as spiritual beings having a physical experience. And that goes for all of us. Every single human being on this planet is a spiritual being having a physical experience. All of these different interpretations and social constructs is not who we truly are. And I say it again, we are not black, we are not white, we're not yellow, we're not red. We're not any color. We're not colors. We're not even the culture. The true essence of who we are is not Hebrews. The true essence of who we are is not Gentiles. The true essence of who we are and where we come from is pure light. It is something that we can only begin to understand, especially when most of us are limited to our 5 senses. And I said it before, we cannot smell the Most High. We cannot taste the Most High. Well, to a certain degree, we can. Let me rephrase that, because we actually can. When we're eating fruits and vegetables, we're tasting the essence of where the Most High come from. But what I was getting to is that the spirit has no color. For all we know, some of you as well as myself, we could have been very highly melanated 1,000 years ago, or we could have been very light in our complexions. Some of us could have been albinos. Who knows? The fact of the matter is that at the end of the day, the true essence of who we are is spiritual, and it is the spirit, it is the light within. That's why when I see, brothers and sisters, when I say don't look for the light at the end of the tunnel, it's very metaphorical in the way I'm speaking. I'm speaking in metaphor. And I've never said this before, but I think this particular episode warrants me to explain this. The reason why I say don't look for the light at the end of the tunnel, because the light is within you and always will be, is because a lot of us look to external sources for truth information. And not that there's nothing wrong with that, because those people or things can become support. They can support something that you're searching for to a certain degree, just like my show. I can only support this truth up to a certain point because I'm not the Most High. But it's more important to look from within to get a better understanding of this truth, because that's the only real way that you're going to get closer to it. And that's why I say that, because a lot of us are constantly looking for that light at the end of the tunnel. We're constantly relying on other people to give us the confidence and understanding of who we truly are, when we shouldn't do that, people, because no man or woman is perfect, and men and women are always going to have opinions. They're always going to have a certain level of perception of reality. And that perception of reality is always going to be limited. They don't have all the answers. And many of times I've seen throughout my life, a lot of these brothers and sisters that claim to be in this truth, their level of understanding is very limited and is based biasly, and it has a lot of prejudice within it. And that's where you got to be careful on what messages you're receiving, because if you believe in that message wholeheartedly, you become limited in your level of perception of who you truly are. So don't look for the light at the end of the tunnel, because the light is and always will be within you. And I hope I'm making sense here, because what I'm saying right here is about as real as I can ever say it. We are all spiritual beings having a physical experience. I've been a messenger for a long time, people. A long time. Over 20 years now. And when I was on the Rockland Report as an executive producer and also as a radio personality, I started coming into that understanding back in 2006. And believe it or not, shadow banning even existed back in the days, because I did a show on the North American Union and the whole entire network got shut down. The only thing that didn't get shut down was the actual station frequency. That didn't get shut down, but the live streaming and all that we were doing back then all got shut down for 2 weeks. I'm going to tell you something else that I haven't told a lot of people in my life. When I left that show, I got called from a brother that I used to be friends with. He's a DJ. Shout outs to DJ X-Ray. He had called me up right after I finished the show and I was about to leave the radio station out in Pomona, New York. And he's like, hey, he was like, King, what's up, King ORRA? And he was like, listen, man, I know that you have a way of expressing things for people to understand and gravitate to and run with it. I have a cousin that recently got out of jail just yesterday. And I feel like he needs to meet you so that you can kind of give him some positive insight on what he can do moving forward so that he doesn't wind up back in jail, because he doesn't really listen to me, but I know that he'll listen to you and I know that you can have an impact on his life. So I was like, sure, brother, I'll come out and meet you. So he asked me to meet him at this bus station. When I drove up to the bus station out in Rockland County, it was in Haverstraw. People, I'm telling you, this happened to me. If you want to believe it, great. If you don't, that's fine too. But I'm telling you, this happened to me. There was a flying saucer, a UFO, that was following me in the sky. And I just kept looking up and it was going through the clouds. And when I stopped and came out the car, it just started hovering in the sky right above the clouds. And as I looked up and I started realizing, like, this shit is real. Like, this is really happening. The damn UFO hid behind a cloud and then disappeared. And I started, like, something came over my spirit where I was like, I don't know what is it that I said, but I must have ruffled some feathers or whatever, because I felt like this UFO that was following me was not of benevolent energy. I felt more of a malevolent energy. I felt like it was probably more those reptilians or those demons that fly in the sky. But at that very moment, I knew that I was speaking messages of truth. And even my girlfriend at the time that was listening to the show, she said she had told me when I got home that she was like, I started crying when I was listening to your show, because she said, I felt like as I was listening to you that you are like this messenger, but I was crying because I felt like, because you're such a great messenger, it might cost you your life down the line. And she said, it just brought tears to my eyes. It made me sad because I felt like there are going to be people out to try to shut you up. And now, from when that happened until now, I think the only reason I survived those life and death experiences is because the Most High has a purpose for me to be here to deliver these messages that I'm currently delivering at this very moment. And I appreciate the people that believe in me when delivering these messages, because I really am living this. Like, I'm really about this. This is all that I have when it comes to spirituality, is this message of truth to serve the Most High. I love being a messenger. I used to be afraid of it. I used to be doubtful of it. Now I'm in a point in my life where I embrace it. I love it. And every single day, I'm working to get closer to what mankind has led astray. And for all of the people that are listening to this show right now on this live broadcast, you have great purpose in life. And it's not just one, it is a multitude of purposes, because the Most High has graced us with many gifts, not just one, but many. And some of you are conveying those gifts and putting them out there and sharing them with the world. And some of you are still trying to figure out what those gifts are. And especially to you people, don't stop. But when you wake up in the morning, instead of just looking at the individual that you see in the mirror, start looking into the mirror and start seeing the very miracle that you are. And I guarantee that you will start getting closer to understanding what those gifts are, because they're many. If we don't use the gifts, we will lose it. Just like that cliche saying that is so true. If you don't use it, you lose it. That's why many people fall into dementia and become senile, because they're not constantly using their mind. They're not constantly accessing their spirit and learning and reading and doing things, whether it be hobbies when they retire or just constantly working. Like my father doesn't stop working. My father's been retired for a long time, but he's constantly working. My father builds stuff for people. You know what I mean? My father's a great Hebrew man. Even though he wasn't in my life, and I used to hate my father. I used to think he was the biggest piece of shit ever. But as I've gotten to know my father little by little, the little bit of times I've spent with him throughout my life, and I see how people revere my father, he's a really good Hebrew man, so as well as my mother. They both got their little, situations that are a little funny and suspect. But at the end of the day, the true essence of my parents is really spiritual. It's really good. And my father just constantly works. My mother, on the other hand, she's real laid back. You know what I'm saying? She's all about retirement. And, my mother has pre-dementia. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping that it can be reversed. I pray to the Most High that it can be reversed. But that's what happens when you're not using the gifts that you've been given. When you just, gonna watch TV every day, or, not read or study or operate in a manner that's gonna help you grow spiritually, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose a lot. And your mind is gonna start to wither away, and you're gonna become what a lot of older people, what happens to them is that dementia. A lot of what causes that dementia and senile disease is the chemtrails, all the chemicals that are in the air. That's why it's important that we feed our bodies the very essence of what the Most High gave us to have as nutrition, and that we eat in moderation instead of in excess. And also, it's very important that we do not think in means of scarcity, because that's another thing that can assist your mind in withering away, is thinking in ways of scarcity, thinking in ways of limitation. When you start thinking in ways of abundance, your life becomes an experience of nothing but abundance. And it's something that I always have to remember. I sometimes fall into the thinking of scarcity. It happens to me. And I always have to overcome that way of thinking, because I'm like, my life is abundant. My spiritual light that the Most High has graced me and given is abundant. And that's why my love and my support and my respect for people in this truth is abundant. I have a lot to give. I'm going to continue to give, because I was put here to give, not to save, not to keep away. And I definitely am not going to be consumed by the ego. I let my ego go in private. Matter of fact, not only do I let my ego run amok in private, but there's sometimes where I'm being so abundantly present within the spirit that I don't even give the ego an opportunity to breathe. I suffocate the hell out of the ego. And it's very important that y'all do the same. It's very important, because we could very much start thinking that we don't have nothing more to learn, We can get into a mindset where we think we know it all. We can get into a mindset so much a lot of times, and I've seen this too, where we say things over and over again that are not very accurate or true to life or reality or to the Most High, but we say it so much that it becomes true to us. And if we say those messages to other people, it starts becoming true to them, because in psychology, the way the mind works, if you keep repeating something like a mantra or any type of statement over and over again, even for a period of 30 days straight, it becomes part of the subconscious mind. That's why the powers that be with these demonic forces, a lot of them say things over and over again. They speak many, many lies over and over and over again. And they say the lie so much that it becomes the truth. And it's not. It's not true. But your level of perception will make it true. That's why I say we got to be very careful in the messages that we speak. Because a lot of times we speak a message so much that it's not completely accurate. And a lot of times it's so fucking far left and out of whack. But because we speak it with such great conviction and over again, people start to believe it's true. And it's fucking not. Everything in life proves that it's not. But they'll stick to the lie. They'll live and die with the lie. That's what the ego represents. And if you ever get to watch a movie, I'm going to do a breakdown on it on my Roku channel, where I'm going to do a breakdown on the movie called Revolver. Very powerful movie. Andre 3000's in it. That British guy that's in Crank and all those like action movies, in the Fast and Furious and those last movies. I forgot his name. Jason Statham. He's in it. He's the main actor. Watch that movie, brothers and sisters. It's all about the ego. And it's all about how deceptive the ego is. And it has a spiritual essence and connotation to it, but it's focusing on the ego and how powerful it is. You can't get rid of the ego. What you can do, like Robert Riopel, all right, world-renowned life coach for life coaches, says it, like, let it go in private. What he does, he lets it go in video games. He'll play a video game and he'll talk hella shit on a video game. But when he's out in public and he's speaking in front of thousands of people, it's all spiritual. It's all heavily convicted to serve a higher power, to operate within the higher self. And it's very important that we do that, because many of us, I think some of us, especially I've been seeing it lately in this truth, I think some of us be feeling ourselves way too much. Way too much. And it's like, nah. I don't think so. I like to recognize what's real and what's true. And if it ain't real or true, I'm not going to gravitate. I ain't never been no dick rider, and nor will I ever be. I'm not a fucking cheerleader neither. We got a lot of cheerleaders in this truth community. We got a lot of people that can't think for themselves. They want to rely on what other people say and not really look from within. I have no respect for that. I don't give a fuck who you are. There's a lot of phony ass people in this truth, people. And I know that for a fact because I've experienced it myself. There's people that I've reached out to, that I've put out an extending hand or try to get them to be part of something because I like what they do, and I get nothing but cold shoulders. I literally get ignored. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. No problem. All right, brother. You want to be like that? Go right on ahead. I've had people treat me a certain way in this truth community because of my skin complexion and because of the way I look. That's why I put a lot of emphasis that I'm not fucking Puerto Rican, and I'm damn sure ain't no fucking Gentile. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you claim to be a Gentile, then hey, salute to you. I don't even put a lot of stock into that shit, because that is a social construct within itself wholeheartedly. Because if we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, how can we even identify with anything that's physical? when at the end of the day, the true essence of where we come from is not physical. So all of these terms of identity, when it comes to physical reality, it's all an illusion. I'll say it again. When it comes to identifying ourselves to our physical reality as men and women, okay, it's all an illusion. It's all based on some type of social construct that was interpreted and created by man. By man. I'm going to say it again. By man. Because I never heard the Most High say that people are Hebrew or Gentiles, ever. And if somebody can prove me wrong on that, please do. And I will say I apologize. I ain't never heard the Most High say that in any book. There is a culture of people. There are people that the Most High has favored. And we all know when you do your research, the true essence of men and women come from melanated women and men. Well, really from women, right? Because women give birth. So the true men and women of the planet were dark, melanated people, what we call crystal melanated. If you don't know what crystal melanated is, look it up. Because that is a fact. There is something called crystal melanation or melanated people. Those are people that are so dark in melanin that they look blue in the sun. And those are truly the people that were first here. So we all come from melanated, crystal melanated people. Even so-called Caucasian man and woman. Because Caucasian people, the so-called white people, they have melanin. It's just light in complexion. And when you do your research, a lot of these skin complexions and eye configurations and characteristics of noses, of eyes, of hair texture, of teeth, of jaw lines, bone structure is all based on physical characteristics that evolve through certain temperatures and weather conditions throughout the planet. But it is a fact that the true people, or should I say the first people that were here as far as humans being, were crystal melanated people. We all come from that. So I don't put a lot of stock. When I was younger, I came to this truth. The Most High revealed this to me in my 20s, where I was like, Puerto Rican. And I started doing research because, I learned in school that Christopher Columbus, when he raped and tortured my ancestors, who were crystal melanated people, he called it Puerto Rico, but it was called Borican. And even the term in its dialect is Hebrew. Borican. But that's for another show. The point of the fact of what I'm saying is that you are a spiritual being having a physical experience. So don't put too much stock into these social constructs. I know that many of us call each other Hebrews and Gentiles. And I'm not knocking anybody who wants to gravitate to that belief system. Do you? But at the end of the day, as far as for me, you know how I identify? What the Most High told me? I'm a star child. So I'm not Spanish. I'm not Puerto Rican. I'm not Gentile. I'm really not even Hebrew. I'm something so much more than that. Because those are social constructs. We are pure light, people. When we leave these bodies, there is nothing that is melanated to that spirit. There's nothing physical in nature to that spirit. It's all just light. That's what we are. We are literally 22 grams and 22 strains of DNA. And a lot of those 22 strains of DNA have been passed on from century to century, and we are just reborn into these strains of DNA. That is the truth, brothers and sisters. That's the truth. And it's only a truth that we can begin to understand while in these physical forms Because at the end of the day, I always say this, we all going to realize what is and what isn't when we leave these bodies. And some of us are going to ascend into higher light forms and higher dimensions of light, whether it be 7th dimension or 8th or 9th. And some of us are going to regress or digress or be suppressed and have to do it over, or might even go to a sub-level dimensional realm. But at the end of the day, we are spiritual. We are light. We are the true essence of the great creator of all that is and ever will be. And at the end of the day, the Most High has no name. The Most High doesn't need a name. We only give the Most High a name because that's how we operate in these physical bodies. That's how the brain, which is the broadcasting station, operates. It needs to identify to something. It has to give something some form of meaning. So because it has to do that, we have to have these different levels of understanding and meaning to who we are. But at the end of the day, we are that which is and always will be, because that's where we truly come from. And that is the true essence. There is not one interdimensional, high frequency, high light being that truly knows that who the Most High is, who the great creator of all that is and ever will. Not one. So how in the hell are we as men and women going to? It's impossible. And there's some people, that when they hear me talk like this, they're like, oh, here you go again with this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I really give 2 fucks, to be honest with you. I could give 2 fucks, 3 Pfizers, 2 Modernas, and 1 AstraZeneca and 3 Johnsons & Johnson. I could give a rat's fucking ass. I know who I am, and so does the Most High. And that's all that matters to me. And I'm grateful that there are other people that when they look at me and they look into my eyes, they don't see Reggie or ORRA. They don't see me as a Hebrew. They don't see me as a Gentile. They don't see me as a Puerto Rican. They don't see me as a nigger. They don't see me as a spick. They see me as a spiritual being. They see the true essence in me as I see in them. And those are the people that I connect with on higher frequencies. Those are the people that when I link with them and we are truly embracing each other's essence, wonderful and phenomenal things are accomplished with the unification of those types of energies that I come across and connect to. And I say it again, we are all droplets of rain. We are all droplets of water. We all have that singular identification to ourselves. But when we fall from the sky into the body of water, into the ocean of life, we are all one. We are all one, having one experience. That's why it's called the universe. Because it's one verse of a multitude of verses all coming together as one. And when we were created in that image of light, that's exactly what the scriptures talks about. It doesn't talk about skin complexion or regions and all that. There is a history there of people that come from different regions and people that came into cultures and built cultures and civilizations. That's all factual. But at the end of the day, when the Most High created us in his image, in that, and the Most High being masculine energy as well as feminine energy, right? But when we were created in that image, people, we were created in the image of light. That is the image that they're saying. It is not a physical image. It's a spiritual image because the Most High is everlasting light. So I am going to stop the broadcast here or end it and give some closing comments. I hope that this episode has given you great substance and helped you to understand who you truly are, opposed to who you thought you were. Because it definitely has helped me. So, brothers and sisters, I want to thank everybody that's been supporting me on IG. I want to thank all the brothers and sisters that have been supporting me on TikTok. The TikTok numbers are growing little but surely. And it's just so wonderful, all the love that I've been getting on TikTok since I've started. Because I haven't been in social media for long. I'm a newcomer to social media. But I ain't a newcomer when it comes to radio. That's for sure. This ain't new to me. I'm an OG when it comes to radio. I want to thank everybody who supports me on all of the platforms. And I want to give an advanced thank you. I want to give you a thank you in advance for all the people that are going to subscribe to my TV channel, because I guarantee you ain't going to be disappointed. I'm going to bring some motherfucking fire to that TV channel. And I'm going to do it in a lot of different ways. And I'm going to have my brothers Take One and Oxycod rocking with me on the TV network. So, with all that being said, brothers and sisters, just understand that you are so much more than what we've been told that we are. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. And that's it. So, all praise to the Most High, right? Tightrope Tuesday, baby. One of my favorite days. But every day is a great day when you're serving the Most High in the best way you know how. So, when you live in the present, brothers and sisters, understand that there is always an opportunity for a new beginning. And don't look for the light at the end of the tunnel, because the light is and always will be within you. So light up the tunnel and find your way through the darkness. This is ORRA the Informationalist, a spiritual being having a physical experience, saying peace, love, and light. All praise to the Most High, brothers and sisters.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
Life is an unpredictable and amazing journey. Our ever-changing conditions within today's society and the constant new trends influencing cultures can become overwhelming, to say the least. But no worries. The Network of Awareness podcast radio show brings peace of mind in these challenging times. Follow us on your favorite podcast listening app and join our community of Network of Awareness at networkofawareness.com.